Welcome to the official Trigun PI tutorial. Now, for those of you who've never done it before, there's a few key things to know. When you select your planet, well, let's go to the scan button up here on the top right hand side, and we will drag our triangles to either side. Then we have to select a resource. In this case, we're simply going to be looking for base metals. And there goes our scan. This character I have right now has max skills for this. So you can see there's spots all over the planet. Some spots, by the hotter color, have more intense concentrations. So what we're going to do, I've already selected a spot, and we are going to see what we can make of that concentration. So we're going to set a minimum visible resource limit somewhere close to the center. We don't care about anything except for the highest concentrations. There you can see the highest concentrations. And now we are going to reveal the maximum visible limit, and we're going to make these very close to each other. So as you can see, we have some white hot spots all over the planet, and those will be our primary sources for the material. In this case, I've already placed the command center, which you can do cloaked from a blockade runner. And that will be the only time, while placing the command center itself, that you need to actually be in space to deal with any of this until you're actually picking up the resources from the player-owned customs office hangar. You can also launch packets of items from your command center into space to pick up without use of the hangar, but there are certain timer and volume limits on that, which isn't terribly important. But say a planet doesn't have a customs office, which can happen from time to time, that will be your only way to get materials off. Out here in 0-0, it also requires you to be a part of the SOV holder to do PI unless you are on the planet before the sovereignty was taken. So here we are looking at a barren command center. Zoom in nice and close here. Doesn't it look pretty? If you play Dust, you will be able to see these things up much more closely once that is released. And I suppose they will look pretty darn cool. Now, when you place your command center, it will come in at a base level. That level is determined by the little upgrade button here once you've selected it. I've upgraded mine up to level 4 out of 6. It starts, well, really it's 3 out of 5 because it comes in at level 0 with virtually no statistics. Every upgrade gives you more power output and CPU output. You have a launch pad, which you can transfer things into. It'll give you a cost for the launch. It has a certain storage volume, in this case 500 cubic meters. Here are its stats with its CPU and power output. Links, it doesn't have any transport links, and nothing is being routed to it yet. So first thing we're going to do is actually put down another storage, well, a storage facility that's actually useful, and that will be the spaceport. So we're going to take a barren launch pad, and in this case we're going to stick it, oh, there's good enough. And when you do things like this, you can do them in batches. So I'm not going to submit the changes quite yet, because I'm going to add my processor. A basic industry facility will go right here. And an extractor control unit for the barren planet will go right here. And let's see, we will start setting up our links. So we'll click planetary links, create a link from here to here. And we'll create another link from here to there. These are roads, highways, things that materials are moved over. And then we will submit. And we're going to select each link and upgrade it a single level, which yes results in more capacity, but also more resources used. So both those links are upgraded. We're going to go to our extractor control unit, click on it, and we'll click Survey for deposits. Here we'll get our window. We'll select the resource we're looking for, which is base metals, over here on the right hand side. It will do a scan. There we see what we saw before. Now we're going to pick I'm going to pick one extractor head. As you can see, it pops up right here. I can drag it around anywhere within this circle of influence that it can hit out to. So in this case, I'm going to go about here, and then I'm going to say I want to do this in 2 days and 2 hours. That's the last time I want to deal with it. Fair enough, right? And you can see as I move it around, the scale changes on the side of the graph in response to the amount of resources present. So I'm going to leave it here, showing my average units per hour with my total units that will be extracted over the 2 days. And I can check off as many heads as my power grid and CPU can handle, up to 10 heads per extractor control unit. Now that I've installed the program, it will, and I submit it, it will begin extracting. Now I can go back, survey for deposits, and after a few minutes I can click if I want to, actually after about 1 minute, you can click Stop Program, change the extraction size with no penalty to what you've already extracted. So there is your bonus. As little clicking as humanly possible, but still not botable. So now we'll go to our factory. We're going to select the schematic. So we are going to be producing reactive metals. Input 3000 base metals gets you 20 reactive metals. So we're going to install that. Now it says it hasn't been routed, and that's correct, because once it leaves the factory we need to have it go somewhere to sit until we're ready to either process it further with another material or simply ship it off planet. We're going to create a route to our launch pad, do that, submit, and it's done. Now we're going to go to our extractor control unit, which also shows that our raw resource, the base metals, have not been routed. We're going to create the route to our launch pad, submit, now we're going to go to our launch pad and we're going to take a look at routes. Now we have 2 incoming, but we have to actually route the base metals to the factory so that it has something to process. So we're going to create a route to the factory, and when it's done processing, it is simply done. And at that point you can either choose to take this further with the help of various PDFs that will help you determine what you want to build, or you can do nothing. It's up to you. Thank you for your time. Oh well, I should also mention you can build additional storage facilities, but that would mean you're going to have limited interactions with the planet, and more complicated routing will be involved. On a barren planet you can put any of the 3 facilities, and only barren and terrestrial planets can actually use the high-tech production plant. And a lot of us use a production planet to do things like that, where we make all the basic stuff on one planet and then ship it all to another planet for final processing. Thank you very much, and enjoy the ride.